In today's amazing video, Multiplier, which is me, shall explain what sidechain compression lookahead is. This guy down here, Lookahead, abbreviated Look, as you can see here in Ableton. But why Multiplier? People say it needs to be 10. People are like, make it 10. But you're like, what? Why? I shall explain in this video right now. This is easiest to see with a diagram. This one here. Now, there are 3 different lookaheads here, 0, 1, and 10, which are the 3 values in Ableton. Take a look at the waveform here. Look at those peaks. Can you see how the audio signal isn't delayed, but the sidechain compression is? It's changing the timing of the compression, not the original audio signal. It's a way of making the compression happen earlier than it needs to. Take another look. See how it's happening earlier than it needs to? This is the look ahead. It's looking ahead to determine when the sidechain happens. But Multiplier, why? Why is that good? That just seems ridiculous. That seems just bad, wrong. It's actually amazing. I shall explain why now. So this isn't exactly how you want your sidechain to look. You don't want your sidechain compression happening instantly. You don't want it instantly bringing down the volume like that. This will cause a click, a sort of click noise. Clicks are bad. And so in reality, when you sidechain compress, when you pull the volume down, you want it to happen over a few milliseconds, or maybe more than a few milliseconds, but certainly you don't want it going instantly. You want the volume to be faded down and therefore avoiding the clicks. So looking something like this. See how this is faded down? Excellent. And therefore, because it takes a few milliseconds or so for the volume to come all the way down, you actually want the compression to happen a bit before the kick does. Think about it. It takes a few milliseconds for the sidechain to fully compress the signal, to fully bring it down. You actually want it happening a bit before the kick does. Hence, this look ahead. And 10 works fine. 10 is still a very short amount of time. So in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't sound like it's happening early, but it gives the compressor enough time to fully compress the signal. But at the same time, gradually. Remember, you don't want it instantly compressing, otherwise it'll click. So you want it to slowly fade it in over a few milliseconds or so. And therefore you want the sidechain to happen a bit before the kick is. But a bit before the kick happens. But think visually, visuals. For more information and knowledge and fun and amazingness, and for example, what FF1 mode's on about, you may have heard, for example, in Ableton, you're supposed to sidechain compress with FF1 mode from Ableton Live 8. And you are, but there's a good reason for this, and I did some analysis for a course. If you want to know, for example, exactly what FF1 mode is doing and why it's good to use, do check out the course I did for Groove 3. Literally, the word groove, and then the number 3, type it into Google, and then the words sidechain compression, or words to that effect, and you'll see it. I did a course where I explained from first principles what sidechain is, why we use it, all the different ways to do it, all the different nuances, as well as things such as this and FF1 mode. Everyone's like, use this because it's good. And I'm like, is it? And if it is, like in the case of FF1 mode, I go, why? Then I do some analysis and explain why in the course. It's a great course. You should check it out. Other things in the course include things like LFO tool and volume shaper, and how and why you need to be careful using them. As if you don't use them correctly, so LFO tool and volume shaper and so on, if you use them incorrectly, if you place them in the wrong part of the project, in the wrong part of the processing chain, they won't happen on time. Sometimes. I explain all, of course, in the course. What? Multiplier? What are you on about? Of course it happens on time. No, it doesn't, as I show you in the course. So do check it out. Just go onto the Google machine, type in Groove 3, sidechain compression, and I'm sure you'll find it. It's amazing. It's made by me. Multiplier, full of knowledge. It's dark outside as well. Ooh. Just for those with keen eyes. Catch you guys in the flippity flip.